Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, entitled ex-husband gets what he deserves. Don't like my silly job, you don't get its silly perks. You wanna kick me out of the house I paid to get into? Enjoy no utilities. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled ex-husband gets what he deserves. After dealing with my husband, 29M, cheating on me and loudly disrespecting me for 2 years, I, 23F, finally left him 4 months ago. He assumed no responsibility for the marital bills and I had to sell the house and his truck by myself. When I left him, there was also a $400 phone bill in both of our names. I ended up just paying the overdue bill a few months ago under the stipulation that my ex-husband gives me $200 for his share. He did give me $90, but then he laughed at me for expecting him to pay me the other $110, stating that he doesn't owe me anything. About a week ago, I went into the store of my current cell phone provider and learned that I am paying twice as much as I should be paying for phone service because I am still being charged $40 per month for my ex-husband's phone. There's still $800 plus owed on it. I learned that the remaining balance was not transferred over when he switched his phone number to his own account because he failed to sign the required paperwork. I explained the situation to my ex-husband and he was more than willing to join a conference call with me and customer service to get the remaining balance transferred to his own account. We had spent approximately 20 minutes on the phone before my ex-husband told the customer service woman that he is making payments on his own phone through his own account, that he doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about, and that whatever I have called to inquire about it is clearly not even his business. Then he hung up. So today, I spoke with customer service again and learned that I technically own my ex-husband's phone since it is in my name. So I made a police report. I reported the phone as stolen and it is now flagged and shut off. Don't like my silly job, you don't get its silly perks. So I work in technical theater as an assistant stage manager. There are a couple of theaters in the area, but the tech community is rather small, so we all know each other. I work for a smaller theater, but I know a few people who work at the largest theater that hosts the traveling Broadway shows. These shows are really popular and hard to get tickets for if you aren't a season ticket holder, and season tickets can run about $1,000 per seat for 7 shows. Tickets are normally about $150 for an individual show, but can go up significantly if they know the show is going to be popular. The husband of one of the directors that I work with is on the board of the theater and sometimes can score good seats at a discounted rate. This season, Aladdin is coming to town, a show my future mother-in-law has been dying to see. She asked me if I could possibly get her and a friend a seat so they could go see it. I called in a favor with my director and she managed to get 2 prime seats. Since her husband is on the board, she gets a discount, so the tickets ended up only being $75 for the 2 seats. I reserved them in my name with the understanding that FMIL will pay for the tickets. Fast forward a couple of weeks and FMIL invites me and my fiancé over for dinner. Dinner goes well and I end up in a conversation with FMIL and FSAL about housework. FSAL is a teacher and she is married to an accountant, so she said that her and her husband try to split the chores 50-50. FMIL thought that was fine and asked how fiancé and I would do it. We don't currently live together. I said probably the same, 50-50. FSAL agreed, but FMIL gave me the stink eye. I asked if there was something wrong and she said, well, fiancé works full-time and you don't, so I don't see how that's fair. I told her that I do work full-time, just not at a 9 to 5 like fiancé. FMIL then laughed at me and said what I did wasn't real work and that it was just a silly side gig and that maybe if I got a real job I would know what it is like to really work. Then she changed the subject. This pissed me off because I am very proud of the work I do. It may not be a 9 to 5, but I love my job. It is my dream job and I do make enough to cover my expenses. It actually takes a certain amount of skill to properly stage manage a full-scale production. So, enter pettiness. I called up the box office for the large theater and told them to cancel the tickets. They were in my name, so they gladly canceled them. I then texted FMIL and told her if she thinks my job isn't real, then the side perks aren't real, so the tickets were canceled. I then shut off my phone. The next day, when I turn on my phone, I see several missed calls and about a dozen texts from FMIL. She is fuming because her friend is coming into town specifically to see this play. I called back and told her she might still be able to get seats if she called the box office. She ended up getting seats, but they cost her $150 each and they weren't as good. Hopefully, she's learned not to insult someone and still expect to benefit from them. You want to kick me out of the house I paid to get into? Enjoy no utilities. The time was 2004. I was 20 and very inexperienced in life. I had moved to Arizona and rushed into a relationship with a guy, moving in together within 2 to 3 months of meeting. I made the mistake of telling him I had money, a lump sum I had received from my dad's VA-backed benefits. He was always encouraging me to spend it, and I didn't think anything of it because I loved him. I paid $1,500 to move into our rental, rent, deposit, all utilities. He signed a piece of paper to pay me back half, but never did, and I ended up moving back to Washington and just left it all behind me. After 5 months of living together, he told me he didn't want this kind of commitment, and yes, it was right after I ran out of my money. I couldn't afford this house on my own, so I was already looking for an apartment, but after a fight, he told me wanted me out in 2 days. Alright, you want me out in 2 days? I went to the electrical company, cable company, and gas company and moved or disconnected all services. I gave no heads up and waited. 2 days later, he called and was calling me a B*TCH. He had no hot water, no lights, and no gas for his stove. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.